So actually it was before last, around November, December of 2016, Amanda and I had been talking about it, and the economy in Alaska was just falling apart, and seemed like everything that I did, job or business I started or whatever, was just fizzling out. Basically construction, flooring, which I was doing kind of in between everything else, was about the only semi-consistent job up there, and being 9,486 pounds, 4 ounces, it was hard on my knees and my back and my wrist, as it is with anybody, but it beat the snot out of me, and I just couldn't keep doing it. So we had been talking about it for a while. Actually, we'd started about the year before, started talking about maybe moving and looking at houses elsewhere and everything. And anyway, November, December 2016, we started getting really serious about it. And we got on that Realtor.com, started looking for stuff, and we found this beautiful house in Brazil, Indiana. And they were asking, I don't even remember how much, but it was a lot of money. They were asking a fair amount of money, but it was a foreclosure. So, and it was bank owned, so we were like, man, screw it, we'll just make them some retarded, ridiculous offer. And so I called up the realtor, and I was like, I said, what's the minimum offer you think they'd take on this house? And the lady was like, probably around $40,000. And I said, all right, well, we'd like to put in an offer of $15,000. And she kind of laughed, and I was like, I'm not kidding. We have $15,000. That's what we have. Take it or leave it. That's what we've got. Make the offer. So she put in the offer, and the bank came back and said, no, we'll do $20,000. Like, moving in the right direction. I mean, that's half off of what she thought it was going to be, which was half off of what what they were asking. So we countered again with $15,000, and they came back and said $18,000. And so we decided to budge a little bit, and we bumped it up to, like, I think we went to $16,000 on it. And the bank actually accepted this, and I'll put some pictures up somewhere on here anyway. The bank accepted $16,000 offer, and in 2 months' time, we owned the house. Sight unseen, never saw anything but pictures of this place. Neither one of us had ever even been to Indiana, much less to Brazil, Indiana, which is in between a city called Terre Haute and Indianapolis. So it's right there, almost on the, I think the Illinois border, if I remember right. So we bought this house and had a pool. Excuse me. Had a pool in the backyard, and sorry, I gotta get something to drink here. Anyways, it was a pretty sweet house. So we bought this place, and I had taken a job in Missouri, driving OTR over the road, trucking. So I flew down to Missouri and got the job, got in my truck, drove for about 3 weeks while Amanda stayed in Alaska to finish out the paperwork and all the stuff on our house sale up there. And we had a date for closing and all that stuff, so I talked to the company that I was working for, said, hey, I got to fly back up to Alaska, take care of the closing, drive my family down here, and I'll be back to work. So we worked it all out. I got on the plane, I flew back. The sale fell through. I don't even remember what had happened, but anyway, the sale fell through, and our realtor was awesome. He got right back on it and pushed the house, and by, I think it was June, we had May, we had our last offer, and we took it, sold the house. By June, we were on the road. Or by June, I was on the road, the end of June, and my wife and the kids flew down. I took the dogs and all the family stuff and drove down, and they flew down with the cats. So I picked them up in Seattle, and we bought the camper that you guys have seen a few times in other videos. We bought that camper and bought her a Ford Expedition, and we were going to start trekking across. Well, we had some friends of ours that lived in Filer. In fact, people who were letting us store our stuff there while we're doing this road trip thing. Some really good friends. Which I'm sure at some point you'll see on video. I'm sure we'll go over there and have a big feast over there at some point, because the woman can cook, man. Mikhail, hats off to you. You can cook like a sumbitch, man. Anyway, so we stopped in. She was like, well, you're going to be driving down I-84. We live just off of there. Come visit us. So we did. We stopped in. And we stopped that night, and she had promised to make us fajitas. And so we pulled in, and something had happened anyway. I don't remember why, but we didn't have fajitas that night. I don't remember what we had, but it was absolutely delicious. And we ate until we couldn't eat anymore. Woke up the next morning, started the rigs up, got everything ready, started driving down the road, stopped outside of Twin Falls, and fueled up and got on the road. And within 5 minutes, my F550 that I was driving had begun to overheat. So turn around, limp it back out to their house in Filer, changed out the thermostat. Everything was good. Took it for a test run. Seemed good. She said if we come back, she'll make fajitas. So that night we get everything done, get everything all wrapped up, and there were still no fajitas. None. So anyway, I'm not trying to place blame on anyone or anything, but there was no fajitas. And so the next morning we wake up, truck's running, everything's good, fired up, go. Stop back at that fuel station, fuel up again. It was better to have too much than not enough. So we fueled up, pulled out of the gas station, made it about 4 miles, and the fan clutch went out on the truck. Seriously. So I turned around, limped it back. Now, mind you, I'm driving this F550, pulling a 30-foot trailer that is filled with moving crates, with 8-foot tall moving crates, just loaded down. This is not something you just, turn around in a U-turn and call it good. You got to have some space. So anyway, we get it back out of their house, and I replace the fan clutch and get it firing, take it for a test run this time, actually drive it around for miles and make sure everything's good. Everything's wonderful. This thing's running great. Okay. Again, I was promised fajitas. Now, the story goes that when I got done working on it, went to bed, and then they made fajitas and ate them without me, and supposedly told me they were there and that they were made and that I should get up and eat some, but I didn't get up. Horse pucky. I wake up for fajitas. Just saying. Anyways, I got no fajitas. That's the point that I'm making. This is a fajita-less story. So anyway, the next day we wake up, get everything ready, start getting piled in the camper and in the truck and get everything ready to go. And my 6-year-old daughter, Ellie, her cat is nowhere to be found. A cat. I hate cats. You'll learn through the length of time. If you've known me a while, then you already know. And if you haven't known me a while, you will learn my utter disdain for cats. Don't care about cats. Don't like cats. Don't want nothing to do with cats. But her cat was missing, and regardless of what species it was my daughter's. And I'm not going to leave without my daughter's cat. So we kind of took this as a sign that maybe we should just stay in Idaho. So we started looking around, and we found the house with this shop that's behind me here. And that weekend we started moving in. The following day after we decided to stay, I got my job with Gary Blick Trucking out in Castleford, Idaho. Best company I've ever worked for, trucking. I mean, hands down, just an awesome group of people. If you're ever in southern Idaho looking for a job, call them because they're family. So anyway, so we ended up buying this house and deciding to stay here in Idaho. And ended up giving, we had a guy that was mowing our lawns for us. We were paying to mow our lawns over there in Brazil, and he was needing a place to stay. He had a wife and 2 kids, and they were looking for somewhere to call home. So we made him a smoking deal, and ended up all said and done. I think they paid about $6,000 for that house to give him a nice little roof over the head and a good start. I mean, it was a fixer upper, but it was a good start for a new life. And so hopefully he's doing well with that, him and his family, and all's going well over there. But anyway, that is the story of how we ended up in Buell, Idaho. We broke down after buying a house sight unseen, and here we are. So there you go. Now you know how we got here. So stick around to find out where we go next. Thank you very much. Like, share, comment if you've ever done anything crazy and stupid that everybody looked at you like you were crazy for. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, thank you very much. We love you guys. Take care.